Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. This isn't a great rack, certainly don't have a bingo. I would like to get rid of the U. Now I can do that by playing YU. I think AYU is better because it addresses the vowel consonant balance. This rack leave looks okay. The only thing which might be better than this would be a word placing the H or the Y on a double letter square. But if there is such a play, if it uses the H and the Y, it's going to... well, the rack leave isn't going to be as good as this. Now, this looks a pretty good rack. I do draw another U, which is not a bingo-y tile, and I've got the duplicate T. But it is balanced, so I ought to be able to make a play. Even a play of hut would leave a rack leave of EINT, which would be pretty good. I need to consider the floaters in case I have a bingo. I haven't seen any 8s with these letters. Now, I really have only got the W to consider as a floater. Well, unwhite is good, but I think, but that doesn't... it's not a bingo, and it doesn't hit either of the double word squares. So I don't have a bingo. My opponent's opened up the triple word square at H1. But can I use that? W certainly takes an E after it. So I could play tune. What's bad about this is that I don't think it scores very much, but I am denying my opponent the opportunity of using it. 21 points, that's not great. Can I do better? So does hut go anywhere? Well, it goes underneath the U of AU, or underneath la to make lat. Both of those options score a lot less than tune. I guess hit isn't a terrible rack leave. It's just a lot worse than EINT. But what about playing down here? Can I reach the double word square? This would certainly score a lot more than tune. Oh, whiten doesn't play off the U. But let me see what the score is. 32 points. I think that's significantly better than the 21 for tune. So although the rack leave is worse, the score, the extra score, justifies this play. And my poor rack leave has led to a poor rack. I draw another U. But this isn't too bad, although I'm a long way away from a bingo. I could play grum or grub, and that might score reasonably well. FY does not take a tile after it, so if I played underneath the U of IU, I wouldn't be scoring very much with grub. Berg is also good. It would be nice to play off both U's, but if I played Umu, I'd be keeping the B and the G, and I'd like to split them up because they're not particularly synergetic or bingo-y. Now, as it stands, I could play Berg in column 3 to the left of whiten. But there are limited opportunities on this board, and my opponent may well block that. Gub is also good. I could play that at I3 down, keeping MRTU. That wouldn't be a disastrous leave. Berg out is good, so through an O I could play Berg out, keeping just the M. That would play off both U's. Right, well the gub spot stays available. My opponent has played off no vowel, so maybe he had a lot of consonants. We're level on score. So this is what I was thinking about. Gub, 19 points. Not a huge score. Just wondering if there's a 5-letter play. But ut is good, but I would need another T. Yep, I can't see. Well, there's Guru, isn't there? Guru plays in this spot, but that would keep BMT. I think this rack leave is better than BMT. And this blocks my opponent, stops my opponent from using the H1 triple word square. And my M can go in front of ut if I draw an O to make obe. I don't. And I have the WU combination, which is a bad one. But it's fairly balanced, so I may be able to sort this out. WAUR is good. I have not drawn an O for making use of the mutt hook. This board as a whole is quite blocked. Now my U can go in front of the P of Gyp, so if I had a 6-letter play, I could play across to the triple word square at H15. Laid, I'm just wondering if that takes an S on the end for future reference. Not sure. Now, do I have anything through a D? I don't. I would have wartime onto a U. Atrium is a 6-letter play. Nowhere great for that. So, what to do? I could play Wimp in column 10. 17 points, that's not very much. And the rack leaves pretty poor. Now the OBE spot has gone, because I would now need a front hook for Bell, and there isn't one. I've got 14.5 minutes left. The problem with this rack is really sorting it out in one move. I'm wondering if I've got anything down onto the O of Wolf. Wimp isn't a terrible play, I'm just not convinced it's the best play. But I don't think I can play off the W and the U. Can't see anywhere for war to play, regardless of score. Now, do I have anything beginning with the prefix up through the P of Gyp? Ah, yes, I do, and I can get rid of the W and the U. Doesn't score much, but I'm grateful to get rid of both of my problem tiles. Only 15 points, but if I played Wimp, that would be 17 points, so this is fine, and the rack leave is absolutely fine for a 2-letter rack leave. It's vulnerable because I'm drawing 5 random tiles, but I'm grateful to be rid of the U and the W. Great, this looks promising. Is there a bingo here? I feel there might be a 7. Onto a C, there's Silotic and Politics. No C's available. This looks familiar. Looks like there's a 7 through an S. I would have something. Gosh, sure this, is it? Wondering about Silotis, which Silotic is the anagram of, but there isn't another S. And there may be a 7 here. It's not coming to me. Oh, well, what about Pilotis? Pilotis. That's ringing a bell. So, does it go any? Does it play? No, not at the moment. And I'm not sure if it's good. Now I've got floaters to consider. So there's the W and A and R. So through the R I would have triple E's, and that, agonizingly, that's one square too far to the right. Does triple E's have any anagrams? Don't think it does. Pilotis definitely doesn't play. I'm looking parallel to warm up. Nope, I don't have an E for going after the R. Is there anything through the W? It's unlikely. And I can't see it. What about the A? Well, I'm not seeing anything through that A. The R I've considered triple E's. Now there's the I and the D of laid. In particular, there's the D. So I've got a dis as a prefix. No, can't see anything there. What about the I of laid? Unlikely, as I've got 2 of them. Okay, now there's a lot of tiles left. I've used up almost half my time. So I think I'm going to have to stop looking for a bingo, although there may be one here. I don't have anything which goes after laid. Laid takes either nothing or just an S. GI takes nothing in front. So I'm just checking. Whiten takes an S after it, so through an I wouldn't have to begin with an I. Okay, I should stop now, otherwise I will get into time trouble later. So, what do I want to get rid of? P, I, possibly O. Poi is a 3-letter word, and I can play that up here. It invites my opponent to play in column 12, but if he does, he'll be opening up he'll be opening up bingo lanes, and list is fairly bingo-y. Trouble with Poi is it's a pretty ropey score, only 19 points. But I can't see anywhere on this board to score a lot more than that. Oh well, this isn't very good. I was enjoying my rack improving, and it hasn't improved as much as I hoped it would. I do have the out prefix, but this doesn't look like there's a 7. Okay, I've had all 4 U's, so I'm probably in line to draw the Q next. Looking at the floaters on the board, Poi has taken out a number of floaters. My opponent's provided a couple with the R and the M. So I'm considering the out prefix, out milts, out rilts, nothing there. Out dilts, none of those is ringing a bell. So what do I want to do? Playing off out or lout would be a good thing to do. I could play loud at N2, but that's rubbish. Takes an A in front and it scores almost nothing. So what about the M? And I've now got less than 9 minutes, so this is looking like I could be getting myself into time trouble, which I don't want to do. Wow, what I can do is pout. And I've got the S for column 15. 22 points is not bad with this rack. I'm going to do this. There is the Q. Excellent. I've got the I for chi and the S for cheese, so I could play cheese at A15. Pout takes an S and a Y after it. Where else can I play my Q? All the U's I've played are inaccessible. If there's an N, I could play chin onto it, and there's no N's available. So, is there anywhere on this board for chi? Wow, there may not be. Ah, well I can play cheese at J6 across for over 30 points. That's been blocked. My opponent's played off only one tile. He's probably pretty close to a bingo. But I can't worry about that. I need to sort out my own rack, and I don't have any other options for my Q apart from this that I've seen. Yep. Can't see anything else. Now onto a Y, I would have lethargy. Through an I would have litharge and thirlage. The Eye of Laid isn't in quite the right spot for either of those. I don't think there's a 7-letter bingo with this. Ah, I'm looking at the Eye of Ravines, and litharge and thirlage do not go through it. Just going to check. Am I? For some reason I've got a mental block on Yar. I'm going to challenge just because I'm short on time. Yeah, my opponent probably thinks I'm a lunatic, but that's fine. Now, plenty of floaters in ravines. Do I have a bingo? I don't have a lot of time to think about one. So the S, firstly. Can't see anything there. What about the E? Nope. The N. Thrangle isn't good. Nope, can't see anything there. The I I've considered. Nothing there. And there's the D of laid. Nope. Okay, and that's it. There's no other floaters to consider. So, I think I do need to take out the S of ravines. I'm only 8 points behind, so I'm not playing catch-up. So, can I play off my G as well? I can play either down from SH or onto SH. So I've got Shalt, which keeps reg. Gosh, it would be nice to get rid of this G. It's not a bingo-y tile. Lots of E's left, so I don't mind playing that. Gash doesn't reach. I'm short on time. So, what do I play? Leash? There's plenty of E's left. .36 points is a good score. Yeah, that's not good. Probably wasn't optimal. Probably should have retained the E or the A, so maybe played something like trash. This is not a good rack. I do have a lead, but it's a slight lead. And my opponent bingos again. It's going to be a tight board, and I'm going to have difficulty coming back into this game. And I've created a hotspot for my opponent at J14 with the A of leash. If he played a high-scoring tile there, he could have a high-scoring 5-letter play. Now I've got the B or the D for that spot, but I've only got an O for going in front of the H. Yeah, I think leash was a poor play. But what can I do with this current rack? Gov is a good 3-letter word. I'm hoping my opponent is maybe drowning in vowels. There's an awful lot of E's unplayed. Both blanks unseen, so I'd like to play off a lot of tiles, and that's going to be a problem with this rack. I'm annoyed with myself for leash. I don't think that was a good play. Right, so looking at the score, I am ahead. I'm ahead by 14 points. There's only 6 minutes on the clock and there's a huge number of tiles left. And I've got no candidate moves that have sprung to mind. Okay, what about Vigour? Takes an O and an S after it. Gets rid of my problem tiles. 18 points, obstructs bingo lanes. Okay, now what I can do is Booted and Vigoro, if that stays available. There's only one O unseen and two S's. If my opponent does have an S or a blank, he may not take the Vigor's spot. If he can't bingo, he may be retaining them for a bingo. This is quite a crunch point in the game. If that spot stays available, doesn't quite. Okay, 5.5 minutes left. Can I reach Vigoro? Is there a 5-letter play ending O? Gosh, can't see it. I don't have time to look. So, what do I want to do? So few scoring opportunities on this board. Wow. I'm drawn back to the Vigoro spot. Maybe I should just use it to stop my opponent using it and accept that it's not a bingo. The TED lead is leave, and rack lead is pretty good. 18 point, not great. Okay. But I'm not providing anything for my opponent. Now I draw the Z for score. I've got 4.5 minutes left. I've got Zellant through LA. That's not a good play. I've got Z or Zia at F14 down, placing the Z on the triple word square. That's good. There's not a lot of hotspots on this board, and there are no bingo lanes. Actually, boot was good. Now, Lum takes an A in front, and I've got an A. Do I want to try and block that? Lum also takes an S, and there's an S and two blanks unseen, so my opponent has opened up a bingo lane. What I can do is this, which blocks the lane. It doesn't score, well, 27 points is actually not bad. Not as much as Zia, but not far behind, and I think that's just too risky a lane to leave open. I don't think I have a 6-letter play ending in A. Right. Okay, through an N I would have N tender. There's no bingo lanes on this board. I'm 30 points ahead. There's 18 tiles in the bag. I am fairly limited on time. This is a tight board, so I'm unlikely to be able to play off a lot of tiles at a time. My opponent is behind. He may well have a blank. His play of Lum suggests he may think he has to bingo to win, so he may be opening up the board again. He doesn't. He only scores 15 points. 3.5 minutes left. I've got no scoring tiles. Wow. I'm looking around for places to play, and I'm not seeing many. I certainly don't want to run out of time. Yar takes a D at the end. So I could play end. Still lots of E's left. I could well be drowning in E's. So why don't I play reed instead? Playing off 2 of my e's. Better still, play need, because there are lots of n's left. 16 points. Yeah, it takes an R at the end. I've got an R. I've got fainter. But there are no bingo lanes on this board. I'm paying attention to row A in case paying attention to this go. I didn't last go. For words ending ZA, they would score quite well. 26 points for my opponent. He's only 13 points behind. There's 2.5 minutes on the clock. Can't see anything ending ZA with this rack. I've got the F for score, which is good. So I can play Phi down here. This is 16 points, but there are very limited opportunities on this board for scoring. Do I want to do that? I'm wondering if I could play Flare through the LA. I think I'll do this. Great, I've got the X. I can play Lanx in column 6 through the LA for about 30 points. It's a good time for a score like that. And I've got X. Column 13, my player Phi has put an I next to a double letter square. My opponent may well take that, but if he doesn't, I've got X. EX. Now, just seeing if I've got any EXE words. I've got 2 minutes on the clock. There are 8 tiles in the bag. I'm still short on time. On to a T, I would have externat or extranet. Do I have anything onto ZA? No, not that I can see. Great, I've got 2 spots for my X, both of which scores about 30 points. Look at the tiles that are left though. Incredible, well, not incredibly bingo-y, but they are pretty bingo-y. So my opponent may open up a bingo lane. In which case I will probably have to shut it down because I'm only 30 points ahead. So a bingo would win it for him. At the moment there are no bingo lanes on this board. Yeah, I'm just checking that. Probably row E ending AI or AIS is the only one I can see. Although possibly also column 6 through LA, but I'm not particularly bothered about 9-letter bingos, even though the tiles that are left means that there are probably several available. So my strategy is to block a bingo lane if my opponent opens it, otherwise to play EX in column 13 for about 30 odd points, or 40 points. And then this Lanx in column 6, which is not as good. Rack leave of Eta is vulnerable to E's. Looking in row N, if I had a... Great, my opponent has not opened up a bingo lane. He has blocked where I was going to go. Let me just check that he has properly blocked it. Yeah, XN is not good. So I've got Lanx for 27, and he's played off an E, so there are fewer E's in the bag. 6 tiles in the bag. I draw one of the E's. I draw the C for score. This is a tight board. Poi only takes an S at the end. I haven't got an S. If I had a V, I would have Cervatha in row A. My opponent has played an I. That takes a G in front. Well, let me look at the remaining tiles. His blank would have to go there. I might have to ignore that. I've got 1.5 minutes. There are 3 tiles left. I need to play off 2 tiles. 2 tiles. Okay, I can do that here with co-ed. Not going to score very much, but I'm sufficiently far ahead that only a bingo can win. I don't draw blank. My opponent's probably got both blanks. He may well have a bingo. IO takes a G and a B in front, so if he's got a bingo with a G or a B, it's probably won. Oh, wow. Now, can I block this? I'm wondering about playing a play onto FY. But I don't want to open up a bingo lane. He's got an amazingly bingo-y rag. He probably has got a bingo. How can I block it? What do I have? And I could play Reefy, but that's providing a floating R. I want a shorter play. It's very hard with this rack to find anything which blocks. Oh no, I'm going to run out of time. Everything I think of doesn't work. What about just Ophi? Let me try that. It blocks putting something in front of IO. I am 49 points ahead. If my opponent bingos, he's 1. I don't think Ophi takes anything in front. Whoops. Okay, that didn't look quite right. And I'm expecting my opponent to bingo to win now. Wow. Okay, it's too little time to consider. If he doesn't bingo, what am I going to do? Struggle, I think. I think I win if he doesn't bingo. Do I have anything onto the ZA? No, I don't. That's a bit surprising. What would be awful is if my opponent won without bingoing. But I've got column 9. I've got something like double E. 14 points. So my opponent's got 7 odd minutes left. Let's just have a quick look at his rack. What's he got? Anything with a B? Or a G? Well, he's got Sergang. Yeah, that would win it. Sergang and Geo. So I am expecting my opponent to win. Shame about Ophi. Just removing my cat from the action. Well, I'm sure that my opponent probably has got other bingos. So if he doesn't, I'm looking at column 9. I've only got 10 seconds left, which is almost nothing. So I am going to play quickly if he doesn't bingo. What else is available? I've got Dota in row N. Now I've got the R for making Yara, so I could just play ER. I think I am going to go overtime. So I think it's going to be close if my opponent doesn't bingo. And if he does, it'll be all over. I don't have anything for going after the X. I'm looking forward to seeing if I could have done something better than co-ed. So immediately after my opponent's play of IO, which was a good play, maybe there was something I could do onto the FY. Or if I had the C, maybe onto the AI in row E, C something AI. 5.5 minutes left. I'm reluctant to pause the video because with only 10 seconds left, restarting it's going to take time, and that could be critical. It's possible that my opponent has not seen Sergang, given that he hasn't played it yet. Now, is TEE or TEA or toe the best I can do in column 9? If I played toe, I'd be keeping AEER, and I probably wouldn't be able to go out next go. I've got aerify. Ah, well, aerify, AEREFY. If I played toe, then I've got aerify as an out. I probably don't have a second out. Teredo is good in row N. What else have I got on this board? Well, I'm not seeing much. I may have a 5-letter play in starting at K1, making J or J. But possibly not. Just over 3.5 minutes left. I wonder under how many bingos my opponent has got. I've seen Sergang, but nothing else. Rabbins might be good. Haven't seen anywhere else great to play. I don't have an S for going in front of KI. 3 minutes left on my opponent's clock, 10 seconds on my clock. So at the moment I'm thinking about playing toe in column 9, followed by aerify in column 7. What if my opponent doesn't bingo but takes the toe spot? I probably don't want to play aerify because I'll be opening up column 8, so I could do with a better second choice. I could get 14 by playing AR in row M. What about Dota in row N? Right, yes, I can play T. Now, I don't have an out, but I may be far enough ahead to survive. I'm 35 points ahead. My opponent may be going out. If he doesn't, what am I going to play? ER in row M, ER, E and Yara. And okay, I was thinking about better plays than T to guarantee an out in 2, but I'm gonna go overtime as well. My opponent probably ought not to play off. He should be thinking about 2 plays to garner an extra 6 points. Okay, if he blocks my ER spot, what am I going to do? OR in column 15, 8 points. Anything better than that? Now, my opponent certainly can go out with Sign and Geo for 8 points, and that would be a victory for me. I've got Reefy in column 7, keeping the O. That would be 11 points. Okay, and pass to end the game. Wow, okay, I won. Let me thank my opponent. And the final score, 325 for my opponent, 334 for me, a winning margin of 9 points. Quite a lucky victory, or fortunate victory, since my opponent could have won at the end. But let's see what I missed. It's been quite a long video, so I'll try and whiz through this a bit. It was me to go first. Hutia, I saw that, but didn't like to keep the Y, and I didn't see Thuya, but it just doesn't score enough. IU is better than any of those. Whiten, that was my play. Horrible rack. Begum for 22. What did I do? I did Gub for 19. Okay, well that's pretty similar to Begum in terms of scores. There's unlikely to be much between those plays. This is where I played Warm Up for 15. Nothing obviously better. Great, I didn't miss a bingo here. And, well, a whole bunch of things in the low 30s. What did I do? Poi for only 19. Okay, some of those other plays were probably better, although a number of them use the S, and the S is worth about 8, whereas Poi retains the S. Yeah, I think all the 30-point plays burn the S. The only one which retains it is Pilot for 23, which is a little better than Poi. Polt. Okay, I didn't see that, but I think Pout is similar. This is where I had Cheese for 43. My opponent bingos. Great, I didn't miss a bingo back. Shout, certainly a lot better than Leash. I think Leash got me into trouble, vowel trouble, setting up a good spot for my opponent on the triple letter square at J14. Shout would certainly have been better. My rack deteriorated. What did I do here? I played Vigor for 18, Bovid at H12. Where's that? Ah, okay, Bovid through the Eye of Ravine, certainly a better play. Right, no fantastic plays here. 06. Ah, beginning with the C. Yeah, something like Cotted for 27, keeping BO is better than Boot, but not hugely. Kaz at 06. Yeah, that's, well, a newish word. I don't always see that, and I clearly didn't on this occasion. What did I do? I played Tsar for 27. Actually, Tsar is better. My opponent was signalling that he had an S, and I think Tsar was the right play. What did I do? I played Need. Yep, that's one of the options and as good as any of the others. Wow, a bingo, and it's a 9-letter play, B6, through the LA of Wolf and IU, reinflate 74. Didn't see that. I played Phi, that's the second best choice, but a long way behind. This is where I played Lanx for 27 and Redox for 22, I think. Yeah, probably very little between them, or Lanx is better. My opponent has both blanks. Let's see if he had a bingo. Wow, he had Nirami eyes. Well, no shame for missing that obscure word. He played IO. This is where I think I made a mistake. I played Coed for 14, which achieves nothing score-wise or strategically. The move here, I think, was to play in row E through the AI, or to somehow block the IO opening my opponent has made. And it's not, I don't think any of the moves there do that, but it doesn't mean that there isn't such a move. Let's see what my opponent had here. Oh, no bingos, although he did have Kwanzaa. And A5, Eta Aereo, well, that would have just provided 1,000,001 floaters for my opponent, so very difficult to know. Oh, well, that was my phony, it certainly wasn't best, but difficult to know what is the best move there. I don't think it was any of the ones suggested. Just check here. Yeah, my opponent did have a lot of available bingos. Fortunately, he didn't spot any of them, and I played T, which I think is fine, and my opponent went out. So an interesting game. I didn't deserve to win it in the sense that my opponent did have a winning outplay. Very interesting position when my opponent played IO. I didn't have time to find a move which blocked the bingo lane that he opened, but I think finding such a move was probably key to guaranteeing victory as opposed to winning through good fortune. So I think this was that move was very interesting, and overall this was an unusual type of game. I don't think I bingoed at all, which is unusual, but however good you are, there will be games where you have no bingo, so it's nice to have some of these up for viewing to see the particular problems and issues which such games produce. And one of them is time trouble. If you're not bingoing, you're not playing off many tiles and you get into time trouble like I did here. So I hope you enjoyed watching that and got something out of it. This has been a ridiculously long video, so I apologise for that. And but thank you for watching, and my name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.